Your money is not controlled by the world. It is not controlled by the stock market, the government, or your job title. It is controlled by law, divine law. And I say this with the full force of truth. If you are broke, blocked, or burdened, it is not because you are forgotten. It is because you are out of alignment. You are not out of luck. You are out of rhythm. And rhythm is everything, because the money that moves in your life is not reacting to your effort. It is responding to your vibration. You cannot outwork misalignment. You cannot outrun contradiction. You cannot pretend your way into provision. You must obey the law. You must speak the word. You must align with the spiritual frequencies that govern increase. I am not here to flatter you. I am not here to soothe your fear. I am here to call your soul into command. Because until you rise in identity, until you speak in rhythm, until you obey without hesitation, money will mirror your confusion instead of your covenant. You are a spiritual bank. Every word you speak is a deposit or a withdrawal. Every thought you hold is interest earned or interest lost. And the laws I will reveal to you today are not advice. They are codes that open the vault. When obeyed, they release divine supply. When ignored, they freeze it. 99% of people do not know this. They chase, they panic, they strive, and still they remain locked out. But you have been chosen to hear. You are ready to obey. You are ready to prosper, because you are ready to speak the truth and only truth. And when you do, money must answer you. Money is not evil. Money is not good. Money is not moral. It is obedient. It does not serve virtue or vice. It serves vibration, and vibration is governed by law. Just as gravity does not care who jumps, just as fire does not care who touches it, divine law does not play favorites. It fulfills itself, always. If your life is marked by financial instability, it is not a punishment. It is a report card, a mirror of the frequencies you have spoken, thought, believed, and obeyed. Money is not waiting to love you. It is waiting to be commanded by you. It is not emotional. It is not personal. It is spirit in motion, responding to the order of the one who stands in truth. And the divine mind does not release substance into confusion. It does not send overflow into contradiction. It waits, patiently, precisely, for your vibration to match divine alignment. You must understand this. Wealth is not random. It is not granted to the clever. It is not denied to the kind. It is revealed to the obedient. And obedience means rhythm, daily, exact, unapologetic alignment with divine spiritual principles. That is the only wealth plan that cannot fail. Everything else, strategies, hustle, tips, tricks, formulas, they are nothing but leaves in the wind if you are not rooted in law. Scripture says, "Beloved, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in health, even as thy soul prospereth." 3 John 1:2. This is not a suggestion. It is a spiritual blueprint. God does not desire your lack. Spirit does not honor your suffering. Poverty is not pious. Scarcity is not sacred. You are meant to prosper because you are a vessel of divine identity. And when your soul begins to prosper, through spoken word, through obedience, through substitution, through expectation, then money, opportunity, and increase begin to obey you like waves obey the moon. The 7 laws I am about to reveal are not to be analyzed. They are to be spoken, practiced, repeated, until your subconscious mind accepts them as the only truth it will allow. They are not tools. They are frequencies. And you do not dabble in frequency. You become it. These laws are your divine inheritance, but they require your mouth, your identity, your obedience. You cannot ignore them and remain free. You cannot violate them and walk in provision. You must align, not someday. Now, because the moment you obey law, money can no longer disobey you. Now we enter the rhythm of instruction, the place where theory becomes transformation. I do not teach these laws for your entertainment. I speak them into your soul so they may take root, disrupt the false pattern, and command your new condition. These first 2 divine laws are the foundation of financial demonstration. Without them, no abundance can remain. With them, all other forms of wealth must respond. Law number 1, the law of the word. Every word you speak creates a mold. Into that mold, divine substance is poured. If your words are shaped by fear, then the substance of your life becomes scarcity. If your words are shaped by faith, then the substance becomes supply. The spiritual world is not casual. It is exact. It listens constantly. And what it hears from your lips, it multiplies without questioning. You say, "I'm always behind." The law replies, "So it is." You sigh, "I can't afford it." The law says, "Let it be done." You joke, "I'm broke again." The law obeys, confirmed. But now you learn to reverse it. You learn to use your word as law, not as commentary. You speak with rhythm, not reaction. You say, "My voice is the vessel of increase." You declare, "Every word I speak is a financial seed." You proclaim, "I only speak what I wish to see." And with every repetition, you cancel the old mold and pour divine substance into new form. You must stop treating your mouth like a thermometer. It is not here to report appearances. It is here to create them. You must stop echoing your bank account and start rewriting it with every sentence you speak. The law of the word is the first gate to provision, and until your mouth becomes sacred, your money cannot become stable. Law number 2, the law of circulation. Money is meant to move. It is not to be gripped, hoarded, feared, or buried. It is spirit in motion, and like all divine energy, it expands when released in faith. When you circulate with joy, the law rushes to replace and multiply. When you contract in fear, the law honors your vibration and holds back your harvest. Do not mistake control for wisdom. Do not label your hoarding as being careful. When you hold money in fear, you teach the universe that you do not trust it to return. And law does not multiply in suspicion. It multiplies in flow, in rhythm, in spoken word confidence. Say this now: every dollar I release returns to me multiplied, under grace, in perfect ways. Say, I give not to lose, but to increase. Say, I circulate as a divine steward, not a scared servant. When you release with declaration, you activate the loop. You command the return. You anchor your generosity in law, and you make your entire financial life a circulation system of divine wealth. Tithing, gifting, investing, these are not material decisions. They are spiritual transactions, and when done in the frequency of truth, they call forth exponential return. But if done in fear, guilt, or superstition, they block the flow. So I challenge you, do not give another dollar without speaking over it. Declare its return. Assign it a vibration. Make your every transaction a testimony of law. Because circulation, when done in truth, becomes the river of your increase. These first two laws, the word and the circulation, are inseparable. One commands, the other activates. One speaks, the other multiplies. Without them, you remain in effort. With them, you enter into flow. And now we go deeper. We now move into the heart of spiritual identity. These next two laws are the bridge between vibration and reality. They do not require evidence. They require assumption. They do not require struggle. They require obedience in state. For the soul that lives these laws, demonstration is not an accident. It is the natural outcome of alignment. Law number 3, the law of assumption. You must walk, speak, breathe, and expect as if your demonstration is already complete. Because in divine mind, it is. What delays the visible is not spirit, but your own refusal to step into the feeling of already done. You cannot manifest wealth while living in the vibration of waiting. You must collapse the timeline. You must assume the frequency of fulfillment. This means when you wake up, you do not say, "Someday I'll be free." You say, "I am free now." When you look at a bill, you do not say, "I hope I can pay this." You say, "My supply meets every demand on time without strain." This is not delusion. This is spiritual rehearsal. This is how you train your body, your breath, your cells to radiate the condition you command. Say, I walk in the vibration of already done. Say, I feel the wealth I command before it arrives. This law is not about waiting, it is about becoming. If you act poor, speak doubt, and vibrate delay, then law must keep you rehearsing the condition you have agreed to. But if you step into the energy of wealth, speak, feel, declare it as your now, then law begins rearranging substance to match your vibration. Law number 4, the law of tithing with word. Tithing is not superstition, it is not religious obligation, it is spiritual alignment. When done in fear, it is void. When done in truth, it activates flow. Tithing is not just giving, it is giving with declaration. It is sealing your circulation with word. Most give money and hope. Few give money and command return. But the one who speaks while they give is the one who commands multiplication. You do not tithe to a person. You tithe to principle. You do not tithe for favor. You tithe to acknowledge that spirit is your source. You give not because of emotion, but because of covenant. You say, this tithe opens channels no man can block. You say, I return 1/10, and the law returns 100-fold. You say, as I release this, I increase my capacity to receive. You must never give in silence again. You must never treat your generosity as a gamble. Every seed you plant, you must water with your voice. You must affirm the increase, expect the return, and seal the act with divine instruction. This is the law of tithing with word. It is not just giving, it is giving with spoken faith. And the law cannot resist faith. It cannot ignore declaration. It cannot hold back return from the one who gives and speaks in rhythm. Together, the laws of assumption and tithing with word shift your entire vibration from passive to powerful. You no longer wonder when your money will come. You expect it. You no longer tithe with fear. You declare the return. You are no longer hoping. You are commanding in covenant. Now prepare yourself, because what comes next is the reprogramming of the subconscious, the final barrier between your mouth and your manifestation. The subconscious mind is your silent partner in creation. It never sleeps. It never questions. It does not judge what is good or bad, right or wrong. It simply accepts what is spoken in rhythm, what is believed in repetition, and what is felt with emotional charge. And if that inner system is not reprogrammed to expect wealth, then all your declarations, all your affirmations, all your outward attempts to manifest will collapse under the weight of internal contradiction. This is not because the law failed, it is because the agreement was never fully sealed within. We now move into the next 2 divine laws, laws that restore your inner system to match your divine identity. Law number 5, the law of agreement. You cannot say one thing and believe another. You cannot affirm wealth while making jokes about struggle. You cannot pray for provision and gossip about how broke you are. Agreement is vibration. Agreement is frequency. Agreement is sacred harmony between what you say, what you believe, and what you expect. When your inner and outer word align, you become magnetic to all that matches it. But when they clash, the signal is scrambled and the flow is blocked. You must burn your contracts with scarcity. Those silent agreements you made with lack through family patterns, cultural conditioning, casual conversation must be dissolved now. Declare, I break every agreement I've ever made with lack, even unconsciously. Declare, I sign a new contract today, one that agrees only with wealth, only with divine supply, only with my true inheritance. This is not just language, it is spiritual legal work. You are the authority over your vibration, and every word you speak is either affirming your wealth or renewing your bondage. Choose now. Align now. Speak only what you are willing to live with. The law of agreement demands that your mouth, your mind, and your mood come into covenant, not just sometimes, daily. Law number 6, the law of identity. This is the law most ignored, and yet it is the root of all demonstration. You can only receive what your identity can hold. You can only attract what your subconscious believes you are worthy of. If you still see yourself as a struggler, a hustler, a barely getting by kind of person, then the universe must mirror that. You will block the very blessings you pray for because your identity is incompatible with your request. But the moment you say, "I am the channel of divine wealth," and you repeat it until the old image dissolves, everything changes. You are no longer trying to get money. You are becoming the vessel through which wealth flows. You stop chasing, you start receiving, you stop pretending, you start embodying. You must replace every old label. I'm bad with money. Gone. I always lose it. Erased. I'm not the kind of person who gets rich. Burn it. And in its place, install, I am wealth in motion. I am the gatekeeper of divine substance. I am no longer waiting. I am now aligned. Repetition reprograms. Identity reshapes. You must speak these truths aloud, daily, rhythmically, without pause, until they no longer sound like affirmations, but like your natural language. You are not here to fix your money. You are here to transform your identity into one who cannot help but attract supply. Because once identity changes, reality must follow. The law of agreement and the law of identity are the final keys to inner reprogramming. Together, they make you unstoppable. Together, they remove the resistance. Together, they create the inner temple that law cannot ignore. And now, we seal all 7 with a challenge, one that requires your full spiritual obedience. You have heard the 7 laws. You have received the rhythm. But now I ask you, will you obey it? Will you move from curiosity to command? Will you stop treating wealth like a wish and begin treating it like a covenant? Because these laws do not bend for the casual. They do not obey the hesitant. They do not reveal themselves to the passive. They demonstrate only for the spiritually disciplined. And discipline does not mean pressure. It means rhythm, obedience, repetition in the face of silence, and authority in the face of fear. Now, I reveal the 7th law, the seal, the law that governs every other law, the law that proves whether you are willing to walk in the fullness of divine wealth. Law number 7, the law of obedience. You cannot command money if you will not obey law. You cannot walk in increase if you disobey rhythm. This is not about being perfect. It is about being consistent. You do not need to understand every law to be blessed by it. You simply need to obey its rhythm. Speak the word, align the identity, substitute the lie, expect the return, circulate the gift, and do it again and again and again until law becomes the language of your cells. Spiritual obedience is not emotional. It is daily. It is intentional. It is sacred repetition that reshapes your entire reality. And now I challenge you to 7 days of covenant living. For the next 7 days, you will obey all 7 laws, not randomly, not when you feel like it, but as your new rhythm, as your new vibration, as your new identity. Here is your structure. Morning command. Wake with the law of the word. Declare, my voice is the voice of wealth. I speak money into motion. Then embody the law of assumption. I live as though my supply is already released. Midday alignment. Practice the law of substitution. Any thought of lack, doubt, fear, or delay, interrupt it. Replace immediately. I am divinely provided for. There is no loss in spirit. Speak the law of identity. I am the channel, not the chaser. I am the commander, not the beggar. Evening seal. Tithe, give, circulate, but always with word. Say, this seed is blessed. It returns to me multiplied. It opens doors no man can shut. And end with the law of expectation. I expect to receive. I expect miracles. I expect confirmation before this night ends. Repeat this cycle for 7 days. Write it. Speak it. Live it. When you forget, return. When you drift, reset. The law does not punish the mistake. It rewards the rhythm. You are no longer waiting. You are no longer searching. You are no longer hoping someone will teach you the secret. You have heard the secret. It is the law. It is rhythm. It is word made manifest. And when you obey it fully, wealth becomes the natural response of a universe that always mirrors your command. You are not here to test these laws. You are here to demonstrate them. You are not hoping for evidence. You are becoming the evidence. 7 laws, 7 days, 1 vibration. And once you walk in this rhythm, money cannot help but obey you. Now speak with me. This is not recitation. This is spiritual activation. These are not phrases to remember. These are keys to unlock the vault. You do not whisper these truths. You declare them. You engrave them on the walls of your consciousness. You let the law know that you are no longer a guest in the house of wealth. You are the architect of its arrival. Say aloud, "Money moves when I speak." My voice is not casual. It is currency. It shapes, it shifts, it commands. Say, "I tithe and multiply." I do not give from fear. I give from covenant. What I release returns to me stamped with divine increase. Say, "I am already supplied." I do not ask. I assume. I do not beg. I receive. Say, "I vibrate in agreement with abundance." No more contradiction. No more subtle sabotage. I speak only what I want multiplied. Say, "I walk as a spiritual commander of wealth." No more victimhood. No more confusion. I am not seeking favor. I am favor in motion. And now declare the seal, the rhythm that law cannot resist. Because I obey divine law, money cannot ignore me. Say it again. Because I obey divine law, money cannot ignore me. This is your sword. This is your rhythm. This is your reprogramming. Speak it daily. Speak it before fear can finish its sentence. Speak it until the world around you bends to match the frequency of your voice. You are not trying to believe. You are installing belief. And belief, when made flesh through declaration, becomes wealth made visible through law. If this message stirred you, if it cracked open the old rhythm, if it exposed the lie you've been living, if it pulled you into the frequency of truth, then don't let it pass like just another video. This was not entertainment. This was alignment. This was your soul being handed the keys it's been crying out for. So I invite you now, not with pressure but with presence, comment below. Choose one of the 7 laws that convicted you, challenged you, or awakened you, and declare it. Write, "I walk in the law of the word," or "I now obey the law of agreement." Let your declaration mark your decision. When you write it, you release it into the collective current. You make it visible. You make it real. If this teaching felt like spiritual remembrance, if it felt like home, then subscribe, not to follow me, but to stay in covenant, to stay in rhythm, to continue rewiring your life through divine law. Each video here is a rhythm. Each message is a returning, a remembering, a resetting of your vibration. And return tomorrow, not because you need more information, but because repetition is your liberation. The law does not fail, only rhythm does. And now that you know the laws, now that you've been entrusted with the 7 divine frequencies that control money, your only task is to obey them in rhythm. Your money is no longer confused. Your path is no longer random. Your identity is no longer divided. You are the voice, you are the vessel, you are the rhythm. And because you obey law, money must obey you. And so it is.